in a place hidden beyond the edge of the world, far past the last golden rays of sunset, there lies an island that no map dares to show. A place called Neverland. This is a land of dreams, where children can fly, where mermaids sing in secret lagoons, and where shadows have lives of their own. But above all, Neverland is the home of a boy who never grows old. Peter Pan. Peter is no ordinary child. He wears green leaves sewn together, carries a small dagger at his belt, and can fly higher and faster than any bird. His laughter sounds like silver bells ringing in the wind. He is the leader of the Lost Boys, a band of children who, like Peter, have no parents. They live beneath the roots of ancient trees, in tunnels lit by glowing mushrooms and sparkling dust. Each day, Peter wakes with the sunrise, ready for another adventure, and every night he dreams of distant worlds, peering through the stars as if searching for something or someone. But Neverland is not all wonder and delight. In its dark corners lurk dangers waiting for the careless, sneaking pirates, hungry crocodiles, jealous fairies, and the most dangerous of all, the fearsome Captain Hook. Captain Hook once had 2 hands, but Peter Pan, in a daring battle long ago, cut off Hook's right hand and threw it to a giant crocodile. Since that day, the crocodile has followed Hook wherever he goes, tick tick tick, eager for the rest of him. Hook now wears a sharp iron hook in place of his hand, and he has sworn that he will never rest until he has finally captured Peter Pan. Scene shifts to London. Far away in the city of London, 3 children were fast asleep in a warm nursery. Wendy, the eldest, loved to tell bedtime stories to her brothers, John and Michael. Every night, she told them tales of pirates and fairies, of islands hidden beyond the stars. But Wendy never imagined that these stories were true. One night, as moonlight spilled across the floor, a strange shadow moved along the walls. Wendy awoke and gasped. There, standing by the window, was a boy with tousled hair and bright, fearless eyes. "Who are you?" Wendy whispered. "I'm Peter Pan," he said simply, "and I've come to take my shadow back." As she watched, Peter chased his own shadow around the room, trying to catch it. Wendy couldn't help but laugh softly, and she offered to sew it back to his feet. When the shadow was finally attached again, Peter told her about Neverland, about the lost boys who longed for a mother to tell them stories. He leaned closer and whispered, "Come with me. You can fly, too. All you need is faith, trust, and a little bit of fairy dust." Suddenly, a tiny glowing light zipped into the room. Tinker Bell, the mischievous fairy who never left Peter's side, she sprinkled shimmering dust over Wendy, John, and Michael. "Think happy thoughts," Peter called, and in that moment they rose into the air. First a few inches, then higher, until they floated out the window, leaving the sleeping city far behind. They flew above the clouds. Beneath them, the rooftops turned to silver. They passed over chimneys, over the river, over ships returning home, and then the sky seemed to open wide, and they flew through a curtain of stars. After what felt like hours, they reached Neverland. It was more beautiful than anything Wendy had ever dreamed. Green jungles, golden beaches, waterfalls glowing in the moonlight, mermaids rested on rocks, combing their hair, Indians rode swift horses among the trees, and, out at sea, a pirate ship waited in the darkness. Peter landed lightly on the soft grass. "Welcome," he said with a grin, "to the place where no one ever grows up." But even as they explored, danger was close. Captain Hook had seen them arrive. From the deck of his ship, he raised his telescope, his eyes narrowing in hatred. "This time," he growled, "Peter Pan will be mine." That night, As Wendy and her brothers slept in the hidden underground home of the Lost Boys, Hook and his crew crept through the forest. They set traps, tied ropes, and waited in silence. When Peter left to scout the area, Hook struck. In a sudden attack, the pirates captured Wendy and the boys, bound them with thick ropes, and carried them to the ship. But Tinker Bell, hidden among the leaves, saw everything. She raced to find Peter, her light flickering wildly. When Peter heard, his face grew serious. No more jokes, no more laughter. He rose into the air and flew like an arrow toward the ship. Hook stood at the railing, smiling wickedly. "So you've come to save them, Pan?" Peter didn't answer. He drew his dagger and dove. The battle that followed became legend. Steel clashing on steel, sails torn by fairy magic, pirates shouting and fleeing as Peter fought with a courage no grown man could match. At last, Peter cornered Hook near the mast. Hook raised his hook to strike, but then he heard it. Tick, tick. The crocodile had come again. With a cry of terror, Hook leaped overboard and disappeared into the sea. The Lost Boys cheered. Wendy hugged Peter, tears in her eyes. When dawn came, Wendy knew she must return home. She missed her parents, her warm bed, the quiet nights of stories. But as she said goodbye, she looked into Peter's eyes, and she knew he would never leave Neverland. Peter smiled, carefree as always. He waved, rose into the sky, and disappeared among the clouds. And so Peter Pan remained, the boy who never grew up, forever flying over the island of dreams. If you enjoyed this story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more magical adventures. Thank you for watching, and remember, as long as you believe, you too can fly.